Hello everyone, I hope that I am audible. Alright, so this session is primarily for those students who have written the prelims of this year, and I am hopeful that you must have done well in your prelims. You have given everything, whatever you are having, your capacity. After that, you should not worry much about the outcome, because if you have followed the process, so definitely the result will be according to that only. And for those students who have done quite well and they are confident of qualifying the prelims, so for them, what next? How to proceed further? Because this year the gap between the prelims and mains is hardly 79-80 days, and if we will go with the realistic gaps that you will take after the prelims, there are 3-4 days that you will take some rest. Definitely you should, because you already have given so much of exhaustive preparation for your prelims. So effectively you will come out with this 80 days only, and in this 80 days you are supposed to do lot of things. You need to prepare your optional, you need to prepare your GS paper, you also need to venture in some of the area which you might not have focused in your before the prelims. So to help you out, specifically for the optional, I am coming out with a crash course program for the geography optional. Now, what is the idea behind this crash course program and how it will be beneficial for your upcoming mains examination? So, in this session, I will talk about that. As far as the crash course program is concerned, so the crash course program that we are starting, the idea in this crash course program is to help you out on quick revision, and this revision should not take more than 25 days. So within the 25 days, we will go for the guided revision, quick revision of your entire syllabus. Now, the interesting thing that you need to understand, of course, all the students, I am assuming that you must have prepared your optional well and you must have done the answer writing. But what happens in the present situation, when you go for the prelims examination, generally students will start intensive prelims preparation from the January month. So now if we will consider that till January month you have studied optional, so almost 4 months you have been out of sync of the optional. And in fact, geography happens to be one of the subject that is the core part of your GS. So I am assuming that some of the part like physical geography, like India geography, you must be having some familiarity because of the overlapping nature in your GS paper. But still, there are 7-8 chapters that are completely distinct, completely different from the GS paper. So you were not revising those chapters because you are busy in your GS preparation. Now when it comes to the optional preparation, those 7-8 chapters, when you will start reading, it will appears to you like something new, because whenever you are out of the preparation for any particular area, when you will start preparing for it, definitely it will appears like completely new thing. So this is one of the challenge. The second challenge is for those students who might be going to write the examination in their second attempt, third attempt. Initially they were not able to qualify the prelims. So sometimes the student gets stuck in the prelims, and when they get stuck in the prelims, so their most of their energy is diverted toward the prelims oriented preparation. Of course, they have done the preparation of the optional, but sometime, because when you will not qualify the prelims for one time or let's say 2 times, it's quite obvious that your entire focus will be to qualify the prelims. So both the students who are happens to be newcomer or who are happens to be the senior, they face this problem, that quick revision of the optional. How to do this quick revision of the optional? Even if you are having the notes, if you are having the structured material, then also you will face this problem. Then third problem that student faces, that in this less time period, whether I need to focus, give the same level of attention to all the topics, or do we have some of the way out through which we can go for the smart way of preparation? To tackle all these problems related to the geography optional, I am coming out this program, that is the crash course. Of course, along with the crash course, there will be intensive answer writing program, that is the test series, but here I will mainly focus on the crash course program. The idea behind this crash course program is to complete your entire revision in the around 20 classes, and the classes has been designed on the thematic basis. Now, what is this thematic basis? Before looking out the actual sessions, let me tell you about the something thematic basis. Now, when you will go through with the question paper, when you will go through the trend of the questions that are being asked in the geography optional, you will find, and in fact it is applicable for all the optional, you will find that majority of the questions in last 5 to 7 years is being asked from a particular theme. So there are few themes that are happens to be the quite important, and if you will focus that theme, so the chances of getting the question, chances of doing well definitely will get increases. So our target will be that we will go for thematic coverage of the topics. So what is this thematic coverage of the topic? Like, let's take an example of the geomorphology. Now, when you will go through with the geomorphology, then you will find primarily there are 2-3 core area, core aspect from where the examiner is asking the question. One of the core theme, one of the important theme is continent and ocean building concept. Now, under this continents and ocean building concept, you will find some of the theories like the concept of paleomagnetism, continental drift theory, sea floor spreading concept, convective cell concept, plate tectonic theory. So these are the 3-4 theories, and some associated concept like volcanism, concept like earthquake, concept like mountain development. Now, in the mountain development, there is one more aspect of the mountain development, that is the geosyncline. So the idea of the mountain development that is being associated with the geosyncline coverse concept. Now, if you will look out this one theme, now interesting part, from this single theme you will find, if you will go through with the question paper that is being asked, here we have a last 7-8 years question paper that I have prepared. Look, this is the first unit, that is the geomorphology. Now, in 2024, there was a 20 marker question, and this 20 marker question is what? Examine the recent views on mountain building process and divide the world mountains on the basis of their genesis. So this is 20 marker question that is being asked from the first theme that I have referred. Now, how important it is to tackle the topic, cover the topic in the theme based. So if you will look out the continental drift theory, a different topic, plate tectonic theory, a different topic, earthquake different, mountain development different, volcanism different, so definitely you will get stuck. But when you will look out this as a one particular theme, that is the continent and ocean building concept. So if you will look out from the perspective of continent and ocean building concept, so definitely you can tackle this question and it will be very easy to answer this question. Similarly, if you will go in the 2023, so again you will find a 20 marker. So in 2023 again you will find a 20 marker. Evidences from the paleomagnetism and sea floor spreading have validated that continents and ocean basins have never been stationary. Elucidate with suitable example. So again the 20 marker question is being asked from the same theme. Now if we'll go little bit earlier, that is 2022, अब 22 में आते हैं. Again there is a 15 marker. 15 marker question is what? With the help of suitable sketches, describe the mountain genesis and mountain types. Give suitable example from various mountain system of the world. Look out the question of 2021. Here itself we will find the concept of plate tectonics has been derived from the isostasy and continental drift theory. Elaborate citing suitable example. Questions nature is different, but the theme is same. So if you will go for the thematic based preparation, you will able to tackle the question very easily. But if you will look out from the perspective of topic to topic, definitely there will be more scattered nature of preparation and it will be very difficult to tackle the syllabus. That is why UPSC is giving the syllabus in two parts, paper 1, paper 2. Now within the paper 1 they are dividing the paper 1 in 10 chapters. That is geomorphology, climatology, oceanography, biogeography, environmental geography in section A. Then in section B they are perspectives in human geography, economic geography. Then we have regional planning, population settlement, models, theories and law. So these are 10 different chapters, and in the 10 different chapters there are numerous topics. But rather than looking out from these 10 different chapters, what you need to look out, especially when your preparation is up to the mains, because I am communicating with those students who are supposed to write the mains examination. So now you are not in that condition where you need to look out that topic to topic coverage, understanding the concept. So we are considering you as an exam ready. So when you are in exam ready mode, then how to tackle the entire syllabus in a very easy manner, it will depend upon how well structured theme based preparation you will have. If you will have well structured theme based preparation, it will going to be very easy for you to get good marks. Now if we will continue the same discussion, even in 2021 the concept of, yes, 21 done. Now 20, write an essay on the evolution of continent and ocean using various theories and models. Again 20 marker. Again 20 marker. Then 2019, the same topic, theme is same, but now they are looking out not exactly the mountain or not exactly the theory, rather one more aspect, that is volcanism. So in 19, describe phreatic eruption and their consequences, 10 marker. In fact, in 2019 you can see that from the geomorphology there were only 2 10 marker. But even in that case also, one of the question is from the same theme. The 2018, here you will have question like evaluate how far Kober's geosyncline theory explains the mountain building process. So evaluate how far Kober's geosyncline theory explains the mountain building process, again 20 marker. Means if you will go for the geomorphology preparation based on this theme, that entire geomorphology has been divided in 3 themes, and the first theme is continent and ocean building concept. So continent and ocean building concept ke ird-gird, if you will focus your preparation on in and around this theme, there will be a guarantee. Because if it is happening in last 7-8 years, so we cannot expect that it is not going to happen. So we are expecting that definitely you will get a question. That question can be from the mountain building, that question can be from the volcano, from the earthquake, from the continental drift theory, from the sea floor spreading theory, from the geomagnetism, from the paleomagnetism. So any question can be asked, but more or less it will remain, it will be revolving around that only. Now second theme is landform development. Landform development. Now the landform development, you will have a concept of weathering, denudation, mass wasting, erosion, erosional surfaces, the idea of the geomorphic cycle, what was the cycle of erosion of Davis, what is the cycle of erosion of the Peng, then the slope development concept of Davis, Peng, Elsie King, and then some of the landforms. Landforms like river related landform, fluvial landform, aeolian landform, coastal landform, glacial landform. In fact, out of the landform, now in last 4 or 5 years, in entire paper 1, in most of the years, they will have tendency of asking one 10 marker, and that in that 10 marker they try to bring some of the less known landforms. So this is an area where we need not to waste too much time at this point of time. We just need to look out for most of the common landforms, most of the common concept. If that question will be asked from those areas, definitely we will able to tackle. Otherwise, we should not bother about the 10 marker, one 10 marker, because this is the trend in the last 4 or 5 years, that one 10 marker need not to be looked up from that perspective. For one 10 marker, you should not go and invest 5 days in the landform related concept, landform related theories. Because if you will target that 240 marks, so out of the 240 marks also you can get very easily 135, 140 very easily. Very common 135, 140 marks is very much easily scored by some of the toppers. In fact, some of the toppers obviously have scored 150 plus, but for the 150 plus you will require certain you can say better level of understanding of the concept, presentation, structuring, answer writing. So that is a different scenario, but in normal case we consider that the first target should be, for all those students who are going to write the mains examination, the first target should be to make yourself to that level where you are scoring anything between 270 to 280. Once after, let's say, 1 month preparation, 2 month preparation, now you got a feeling that in the test I am doing exceptionally well, and now it is time to look out, just push little bit harder and go for the 300 plus, then that will be done. But immediately in the first session itself, or in the first day of the preparation, you should start thinking that the 300 plus only I will get. So that is like a daydreaming. So that is why first you need to limit your landform related concept or the different landform that are available, and once you are done with that, definitely there is no limit. There are large number of landforms that you can approach. The third aspect is topic of applied part. So channel morphology, then we have a applied geomorphology, so I am putting up all the topics of geohydrology, economic geology in this applied geomorphology only. So I am considering all these in this. So in this manner, the geomorphology can be tackled in only 3 different themes. So I have divided the entire syllabus in different themes, and it will be going to be very easy, and we will target for somewhere around 150 different theme, and in that 150 different theme, the most of the things will be taken care. So just have a look of few more topics. So the entire syllabus has been divided in 20 different sessions. So I will take 20 different sessions. Now how we are going to cover this 20 different sessions? So there will be 2 different sessions on the geomorphology. So for the geomorphology we will take up the 2 different sessions, and in these 2 different sessions the idea will be going for the complete revision of the geomorphology. Then in one session we will cover the climatology. Now when you will look out the climatology, In climatology, you will find in last 4-5 years, they are targeting some of the important area like the wind, atmospheric circulation. So question from the wind, from the atmospheric circulation, planetary wind, local wind, jet stream. So these are the one area, one theme on which regular questions are being asked. The second theme on which the questions are being asked is associated with the air mass, frontal activity, tropical cyclone, temperate cyclone. In fact, cyclone happens to be the very favorable topic from where the questions are being asked. And then third part of the climatology, which cover the topic like Köppen's, Thornthwaite's and Trevartha's classification, global climate change and role and response of man in climatic change, applied climatology, urban climatology. Here it is not necessary that every year they ask the question. So in some year they will ask the question, in some year they are not going to ask the question. So climatology, for the climatology we will spend one session. Now for the oceanography, again in oceanography there are lots of topic, but if you look out the questions that are being asked in the oceanography, these are very much on the set pattern. So one of the theme is associated with the movement in the oceanic water, that is waves, tides, ocean current. The another theme is associated with the bottom topography of the Atlantic, Indian and Pacific and temperature and salinity of the ocean. So either you will get question from here or you will get question from here, or the third is associated with the resources, deposits, coral reef. So here also we have around 3 themes on which the questions are being framed. So oceanography we will cover in one session. Then the environmental geography and biogeography we are covering in one session. The reason being that we will we will dedicate one entire session for the environmental issues. So they are asking some of the contemporary related topics in the environmental issues. That is why here our target will be to cover the static part or the topics that are more associated with the biogeography. Topics like genesis of the soil, soil profile, classification and distribution of the soil, soil erosion, degradation and conservation factors influencing world distribution of plants and animals, problems of deforestation and conservation, social forestry, agroforestry, major gene pool center. So these are the topics of biogeography. Now for some of the students who might be aspiring to write the mains examination for the first time, so those who are going to write the mains examination for the first time with the geography optional, let me tell you some of the important aspect. I'm very much sure that you must be knowing, but if you are not knowing, this is very important thing that you need to understand. Your paper 1, in which this physical geography is there, in paper 1, the paper 1 will be divided in 2 sections, section A and section B. In section A you will have 1, 2, 3 and 4 question. This one question is happens to be the first question happens to be compulsory and it will have 10 marker each. So one of the question will be from the geomorphology, climatology in this manner. Now the interesting part is, that is second, third, fourth. In these questions you will have 3 sub part. Sometimes what a student try to do is, they try to think that because there will be some of the option, total 8 questions are there, question number 1 and 5 is the compulsory, remaining you will have a 6 question, and out of the 6 question you are supposed to answer 3 questions. So of course there are some of the options available, but the important thing that you need to keep in mind, what important thing you need to keep in mind, that now the UPSC is not focusing, UPSC is not designing the paper in such a manner that if you are just preparing the geomorphology, climatology and oceanography, your job will be done. Because almost in all these remaining three questions, that is question number 2, question number 3, question number 4, you will find a question of the biogeography and the environmental geography. In fact, one of the area from where we are seeing a considerable increase the number of question is the biogeography. Now let's have a quick look of some of the questions that are being asked. तो देखते हैं कुछ questions, biogeography के कुछ questions देखते हैं. So when you will go through with the biogeography question, see in 2024 there are 3 questions of the biogeography. One is the 10 marker and 2 is the 15 marker. So 40 marks question is from the biogeography. Examine the impact of social forestry in socio-economic transformation of rural areas. Soil erosion is creeping death. Explaining the statement, suggest various soil conservation measure. The latitudinal gradient in species richness is an important geographic trend in the biodiversity. Examine the statement. In fact, if you will not be able to, if you have not revised the biogeography, you will not be able to properly attempt second question, third question, fourth question, any of these 3 questions. Because simply means that in 2 questions, 15 marker, biogeography is there. So that is why in the present time period, it is not suggestive that you should just look out 2-3 units, that is geomorphology, climatology, ocean, and leave 2 chapters. That was the earlier strategy. This is not going to work out in the present time period, specifically biogeography. Now look out 23, 110 marker, 115 marker, 22, 110 marker, 120 marker, 21, again 110 marker, 15 marker, 20, here also 110 marker, 215 marker, 2019, 110 marker, 115 marker, 120 marker. So regularly the questions are being asked from the biogeography. This is the very important area from where the questions are being asked. Now, then we will move to the next session, and this is associated with the India physical. Now, India physical, I have basically, for India physical, I am going to give 3 different sessions. Now, the interesting part is, why 3 different sessions for the India? Because India physical, most of the students don't understand this. They always consider the India physical from the perspective of the topics, that whether question has been asked from this topic or not. But I used to suggest to all my aspiring students that the first chapter of India physical, that is the physical setting. The first chapter of the paper 2, physical setting, have lots of gravity. It provides the basis for content of other topics. If you have good understanding of the India physical, it is going to be always very easy to answer the question of the, let's say, agriculture, resources, industry, population, settlement. So that is why it is important for you to spend some of the extra time in this physical setting chapter. So that is why I have given 2 dedicated sessions. In first session, we will cover the mainly physiography part of the India, structure and relief, drainage, physiography, natural vegetation, soil type. And the second session is primarily for the climate. Now again, for the India climate, we are going to give one entire session, because lots of issues are there. Flood is there, drought issue is there, then we will have the role of El Nino is there, then we have some of the issues like monsoon related concept is there, how the climate change is affecting the monsoon, how the monsoon is affecting the agriculture. So lots of contemporary aspects is there. That is why the climate holds very important role. No, you need not to just look out the topic from the perspective कि ठीक है tropical cyclone हमने किया, इससे question पूछा जा रहा कि नहीं पूछा जा रहा. Might be they are not asking the direct question of the tropical cyclone, but they are asking about some of the coastal effect, how the coastal erosion is being carried out in the Indian coast. So in that, definitely you need to bring out this discussion, how the socio-economic conditions is getting affected, change in coastal areas. So in that we need to bring the discussion of the tropical cyclone, some of the recent cases of the flood, what are supposed to be the strategy for the disaster management, disaster preparedness in the coastal area. So for that perspective you need to understand. Then in paper 2, I am sure that you all must be knowing, in paper 2 you are supposed to answer one of the map based question. तो एक आपको क्वेश्चन दिया जाएगा जिसमें आपको 10 लोकेशन दी रहेंगी and those 10 locations you need to mark over the map. So we will cover the static part and some of the definitely locations in the news. So एक पूरा session आपका mapping पे होगा. So this is going to be very important because we are going to cover mapping also. And in fact, if you will go through with the locations, then you will find every year out of the 10 locations, very easily 6-7 locations can be tackled up. So if you will have a sound preparation, good preparation of the geography, definitely 6 to 7 locations are doable. And I always suggest to my student that if you are getting 7-8 locations correct, that is more than enough to even score 306 mark. So students have scored 300, my students have scored 306 mark even after just marking the 7 entries correct. So it is not necessary that you need to get the 10 entries only, and you need to always look out the cost benefit, that for that 3 entries how many other locations you are studying. Let's suppose some student has only go for the 200 locations, तो 200 locations में उसको 6-7 लोकेशन मिल गए. एक दूसरा स्टूडेंट है जिसने 1000 एंट्रीज पढ़ी. अब 1000 एंट्रीज पढ़ने के बाद आप कितनी एंट्रीज को कैरी कर पाएंगे, and what is the guarantee that from that only you are going to get those 3-4 entries. But here you will have the guarantee. Don't believe on my words, you can go through and look out the questions that are being asked. So when you will go through with the questions, you will find most of the questions out of the 10 locations, always 6-7 locations are very much conventional. That is part of the NCERT, that is part of your basic textbooks. तो बेसिक टेक्स्ट बुक में जो आपकी लोकेशंस हैं स्टैटिक, वहां से क्वेश्चंस रेगुलरली पूछा जा रहा. सो वन सेशन फॉर द मैपिंग. देन मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट सेशन. सो 2 sessions for the models and theories. Theories basically these are part of the paper 1 session section 2, and in paper 1 section 2 we have a different chapters where lots of theories are there: economic geography, population settlement, regional planning. So agricultural location theory of von Thunen, industrial location theory of Alfred Weber, limits to growth, population theories of Malthus, Marx, DTT, central place theory of Christoffel, Loos, Ravenstein's law. In fact, this is again going to be a very high priority area, because out of all the theory you are going to get at least 1 question. So worst case 1 question, but in most of the cases you are going to get more than 2 questions. तो जितनी आपकी थ्योरीज हैं ह्यूमन ज्योग्राफी में, अगर आपने थ्योरीज कवर कर ले, बट थ्योरीज कवर करने से ऐसा नहीं है कि दैट यू विल हैव सम आइडिया ऑफ द थ्योरीज एंड यू आर गोइंग टू गेट द मार्क्स. You need to understand the theories, you need to understand to that level where you can apply, where you can give some examples and real time examples, case study, and then write the answer. So our purpose will not be to just go for the only understanding the theories, but what is the relevance in the present time period, what present time examples we can make out. So that is how we will cover the models and theories. Then we have the economic geography of paper 1, and also we have the resources of paper 2 that we will cover. Then we will cover 1 session, we will dedicate 1 session for the population geography that is in paper 1, and the cultural geography, so cultural setting basically. So we have a population geography and cultural setting of paper 2. Cultural setting of paper 2 mainly cover the population and settlement, important aspect like demographic attributes. Then we have the migration. Migration is a very important problems in our country, causes of migration. Then in paper 1 we have some of the migration theories also. Then we have tribal issues, major tribes, their problems, cultural regions. Regularly questions are being asked from this particular area. Then we will have one very important topic, that is the settlement. So settlement geography, settlement is part of both paper 1 and paper 2. So we will give one particular सेशन फॉर दिस सेटलमेंट ज्योग्राफी. तो एक पूरा सेटलमेंट ज्योग्राफी से सेटलमेंट के में दोनों पार्ट हैं, अप्लाइड पार्ट एंड द थ्योरेटिकल पार्ट. एंड every year you will get the question from the settlement in both paper 1 as well as paper 2. Then you will have we will dedicate 2 sessions on the geographical thought. Geographical thought is highly fluctuating. So in some year you will get more questions, in some year you will get less question, but we will still we are dedicating 2 sessions for the geographical thought. So we will not look out this geographical thought from the perspective of the number of questions, rather we will treat this geographical thought as a philosophy of the geography. The philosophy of geography is going to be highly useful in other areas also. तो आप सिलेबस के किसी और टॉपिक पे भी अगर आप आंसर लिख रहे हैं, and if you will have some idea about the thinkers, if you will have some of the idea about the their basic major work of that thinker, so you can quote. So it can be utilized in other part of the syllabus also. So that is why the geographical thought is being given 2 different sessions. Then we have a session on agriculture and industry. Definitely in economic geography also we will have some linkages. Then we have a 1 session for the trade, transport, communication. In the present time period, lots of questions you will get from this particular area, because be it your transport, logistics, supply chain, projects like Sagarmala, port-led development. So all these are going to be very important, some pipeline network. So overall infrastructure is very much important for the governance, and because infrastructure is very much important for the governance, so obviously even in geography optional also they have tendency to ask that question. Then we have a regional planning and regional development planning. So 1 session for that, types of region and classification, growth poles by Francis, growth center theory, and also that. Then one of the session, in fact here itself I have not mentioned. The political geography will be covered here itself. So models and theories in the 1 session, we will cover the political geography. Political geography, we have some of the 2 theories of Mackinder theory, Spikeman theory, then what is the concept of boundaries, what is the difference between the boundaries and frontier. Then in paper 2 also we have the topic. So that we will cover in the sessions along with the models and theories. Then other than these 18 sessions, I will take up 2 different sessions. On the 1 session will be on the contemporary issues, other sessions will be on the environmental issues, because we will cover the contemporary issues and environmental issues till entire June month. That is why we have not given the list. So that list will be taken care, that list will be finalized by the end week of June. So we will cover those entire till June month the topics, and that we will cover. Other than this also it is not limited to the topics that we will cover in the classes. In fact, contemporary issues play very important role in paper 2, and in some of the year contemporary issue, from the contemporary issues they will have tendency to ask 60 to 70 marks question. So that is why we will give lots of additional topics also. तो आपको content support भी दिया जाएगा contemporary issues से related, and this contemporary issues content support will be highly useful. In fact, if we will utilize this crash course program effectively, so it will let you revise the geography optional in very structured manner, but you need to give some effort from your side also, because when you are following any program, so let's suppose that geomorphology is being covered in 2 sessions, so don't go and don't put that extra time to any particular subject, try to complete, try to finalize in that way, because this is the time now you are not having the leverage to read by yourself or read it like yourself, because this is the one of the biggest mistake committed by some of the students. When you will look out some of the students, those who are not able to qualify this examination, especially mains examination, and not performing well in the geography optional, I can assure you that if you will connect with that student, one thing you will find common, and that common thing is they were not able to approach, they were not able to study all those chapters. So they have given some extra time in some particular chapters, and if you will not be able to revise all the chapters, so there won't will be, of course you will not be able to write. So revise, write, these two are going to be very important, crucial. Revision के लिए crash course, writing के लिए test series. If you will use these effectively, the upcoming 80 days time period is more than enough to tackle the upcoming mains examination. So this is all about how to revise the geography optional in 25 days. For any kind of mentorship, for any kind of doubts, queries related to the geography optional, you can reach to us, you can write in the comment box, you can reach to us, you can reach to GSS core team. Definitely they will get you connected with me. So whatever the doubt, whatever the confusion you will have the geography optional, I am available here to help you out. So that's it from my side. Thank you.